Now that all the visitors have left, I can finally do this properly. Hello, old girl. It's been a while. 7 long years. And there was so much going on the day we finally met again. So many people here on your deck. There wasn't even room to fall over. Ooh, boy. Look at you, my old friend. You are sharper than ever. The guys at the dockyards really went all out for your restoration, didn't they? I heard the previous lord of the dockyard even came out of retirement to oversee the work on you. That guy looks like a dried-up raisin. Not a dried-up grape, a dried-up raisin. I guess I am one to talk. The wrinkles are plentiful and also digging deep into my face now. But I guess the old lord made sure the work was done to perfection. Everything is just like back then, when I first set foot on your deck. Well, not everything. They place those information boards everywhere. I hope they don't bother you. Even if these boards did, I think you have to get used to that. You are a museum ship now, displaying your part of our Navy's history. It's well deserved. Can you believe that? There was such a crowd, I didn't bother during the day. Let's see if they got it correct. I swear, if they put some stupid stuff on those boards. Damn! I knew you were the problem child of the yard back then. Your construction wasn't going smoothly. And the sea trials! God-awful quality of the coal. So much more dust than usual. And it burned like crap. I remember passing out from all the work with the shovel. We hardly kept up with the demand of the boilers. And what do we have over here? Battle of the Atella Strait? You could say the most important victory for our Navy. Yet it looked so bleak in the beginning. Our enemy had more ships, and their gunnery seemed to be better. One of our cruisers crippled before our shells even hit them. And then the fog rolled in. You couldn't see more than 200 yards, and unbeknownst to us, we got separated from our own fleet. 5 hours of slugging through that white wall of mist before a strong breeze blew it away. I can't believe our captain didn't shit his pants. We didn't notice down in the engine room, but when that fog lifted, we were only half a mile away from the closest enemy. Their squadron between us and our other ships. The enemy reduced their speed when they couldn't see in the mist too, when we didn't. Maybe they were focused on the rest of our fleet. I don't know. They didn't notice us until it was too late. The captain ordered you to steam right into their formation, closing in quickly. And then... I can't believe there's a picture of that! Did their lookout have a camera? You split that enemy torpedo boat clean through the middle. And afterwards, we bore down on an unsuspecting protected cruiser. Your ram nearly cleaved off his bow. I felt that impact right in the engine room. That's when your guns started to speak. Their flagship to our starboard side. Nearly point blank, they had no chance. You sent 2 more cruisers to the bottom in quick succession and set another pre-dreadnought ablaze. You slamming into their fleet broke their formation and left the enemy in confusion. Easy pickings for us and the other ships of our fleet. And the glory of that day made you the kingdom's flagship. For decades to come. Oh, that's a nice depiction of you firing all your guns. Which one of the many bombardments is this supposed to be? callus? Oh, I swear I heard those torpedoes scratch along the hull. One on each side! Imagine if those things had magnetic detonators back then. We'd have been fodder for the fishes. And this one? Gulf of Vara. Vara? I remember! When we got by those small torpedo boats with those really old torpedoes, they had to get so close. Your secondary battery put on real fireworks display, keeping them away. Did your 6-inch guns ever fire faster than that? And we were maneuvering like crazy, constantly switching directions of the engines to help turn away from the torpedoes they did launch. I wonder if... There it is. The skirmish at the F4A Islands. That was a tough one. You and your 2 sister ships, facing 3 other pre-dreadnoughts. You led our little task force, the gunnery duel between the ships dragging on. We scared them off, but you received nearly 300 hits and still minimal damage. The shock when we found an enemy shell lodged in one of our magazines after that battle. This could have gone so much worse. That damn waterspout went straight over us and ripped our rigging and longboats apart. That shit poured so much water down your funnels, I was afraid it would extinguish your boilers. That was an experience. But not as bad as the storm at Cape Lannis. It was supposed to be a nice little exercise. But it was even worse than I thought. 50 ships were involved. 4 made it out. 1 nearly sinking, 2 heavily damaged, and 1 drenched from the keel up to the tips of the masts, but pretty much undamaged. Thank you, old girl, for getting us through that. Of course. Can't miss out on the Glauis incident. Those fuckers thought they could sneak close to our home harbor in the dark and pull off a night raid. But they didn't reckon with us. Engaged them head on, the muzzle flashes lighting up the dark. The 2 armored cruisers sunk when we pushed through between them, your secondaries fiercely spitting fire as usual. And for the Glauis, you burrowed your bow in her side after putting 2 12-inch shells into her rear turret. That pre-dreadnought blocked part of our harbor entrance for weeks. And the dockyard had to do extensive repairs to your bow again. I know we had a lot of leaks to shore up after that ramming attack to even get back into the harbor. Last info board out here. Yeah, I remember the raid at Dar's Point. We made the same mistake as the Glauis. The Admiralty wanted us and the Viribus Ventorum to sneak in there, bombard the facilities at night. They knew we were coming. 5 battleships at the ready, and those damn coastal guns. They waited for us to get closer. Opened up from a distance of a mile at most. It says right here that their rounds would have hit us if it weren't for some empty spaces in your superstructure. Their second salvo blew away some lifeboats and one of the secondary guns, but other than that, the Ventorum took most of the heavy fire. It didn't take long for her to burst into flames. There was no helping them. And we had to get away. Fast. That was the first time we let more pressure into the engines than they were rated for. We made you run at 20 knots instead of 18. People at the dockyard weren't happy. They had to rebuild your engines after that. Seems like I saw everything out here. Is there more inside? I think they left out the most impressive chapter. Oh my. A whole separate exhibition. Until the Last Shell, The Incredible Escape and Last Stand of the Virbus Oceanus. That title tracks. We arrived early at the Delgarian Islands. A happy little accident for us. Got to fill up our coal bunkers 2 weeks before the royal family arrived. Those damn Delgarians! Refused to coal up the ships of the royal entourage again. Wanted to trap our king and his family there. Who knows what they wanted to do to them? And Lady Luck smiled upon us again. Without another foggy morning, we probably wouldn't have been able to sneak away. We ran for 2 days, but then our lookout spotted the Commodore Walls, their newest dreadnought, coming for us. I still remember the desperation in the voice of our captain. She wasn't just ordering us to full speed ahead. She begged us for everything you could give. Make her go as fast as she possibly can. Give me everything, everything. I can still hear her panicked tone. If the Lord of the Dockyard knew what we were doing down in your engine and boiler rooms, he'd kill us. God damn. But now you are the only pre-dreadnought that ever cracked 22 knots. Wait, is this? It is! How did they get their hands on that? That's the captain's favorite bottle of rum. At least what remained of it after it fell off the shelf. Because the vibrations of the engine shook your whole hull like crazy. I know your rangefinders took damage from the shaking alone. It hurt pushing you that far. To me, it felt like you were shivering. Were you afraid too? Afraid we wouldn't get away? Afraid we'd die trying? 'Cause I was. I am not gonna lie about that. Overpressure valves disabled. Boilers 10 bars above test pressure. We had to spill cold seawater on the outside of your condensers, otherwise they wouldn't keep up. And your bearings got so hot. We used the lubrication oil for a whole week in just 5 hours to prevent them from completely overheating. I wonder what that Delgarian captain thought when they realized they weren't catching up to us. Must have driven that guy crazy. But you brought us to a neutral harbor where the royals would be safe. Maybe we should have kept running all the way back to our home port. But maybe they would have found us again before we'd have gotten there. No use thinking about the ifs now. The royal family was safe, but that stop doomed us. Doomed you. When leaving that port again, 2 Delgarian dreadnoughts were waiting for us. No running this time. Your engines were way too worn out to pull that stud again. They could shoot further with their 14-inch guns. Their shells packed more punch. Seeing those pictures now, I never knew how badly they shot you up above the waterline. I could barely recognize you there. The old lord of the dockyard gave me this key ring. I wonder. Back home. Damn it. I am getting old girl. I need to sit down, just because I climbed down some narrow stairs. I mean, the prosthetic foot is not helping, but still. Incredible. Just incredible. Everything back in pristine conditions. Your engines look like they are ready to run at any moment. Did they put in new ones, or did they just restore your original machinery? Hold on, let me check. God damn. Kev was here. That stupid oiler. Scratching that shit into the cast iron. But hats off to the dock workers. They really restored your original engines. Even after sitting 2 years in salt water. I can't imagine the pain that was. The boiler room. I didn't expect to see all this again. Everything looks so clean. It's surreal seeing you like this. Back again. Back at the spot I thought I'd close my eyes for good. How did we get this lucky back then? Nobody at the helm anymore. With your list and only one screw working, we weren't staying on course. You slowly drifted to starboard, our heading changing steadily, straight at a sandbank. Is that why you were so stubborn? Did you know it was there? Because now it seems to me like you clawed your way on this shallow spot with your last bit of strength. Must have hit it right after I opened the release valves. I was already unconscious when you settled on the bank. I still have no idea who pulled me out of the water that was gathering in here. Was it the captain? Did she make a final round through the ship and found me? Looking back, we always got lucky. So lucky. I'll toast to you when I visit the pub tonight, old friend. I guess I should get going. The old lord of the dockyard wanted these keys back at the front desk of the administration building by midnight. I nearly forgot. The new lord of the dockyard promised me that you will lead the next naval parade through our harbor. You're gonna be under steam again. Please behave, and be kind to your new personnel. I'm sure they will treat you with respect. You are still the pride of our Navy, after all. You know, it's weird when it's so quiet down here. No noises from you at all. Leaves me asking myself, were our conversations just my imagination? Or did your spirit finally leave you after that last fight? It makes me so damn happy to know you're still here, old girl.